Minneapolis-St. Paul International Airport is one of the major airport hubs in the US, both for domestic and international traffic, with about 40 million passengers per year. Like many other airports around the world, they have certain areas, certain concourses and terminals where they're operating close to capacity or at the capacity limit. MSP reached out to us with a classic challenge. An airline wanted to start operating a new route in the current peak, and they wanted to know whether it was possible to actually accommodate this new route. And if so, how can we do that so that we have the minimum impact on the existing operation? So when you want to handle an aircraft turnaround, the arrival and the subsequent departure, you need to allocate a number of resources. In this case, we're talking about the gate, so the passenger gate, and the aircraft stand for the parking of the aircraft. And looking at the existing allocation of the existing traffic, it was difficult to see an option to make room for this new route that was coming in. So our challenge was really to see, are there any other options that we cannot immediately see for making room for this new route? So what we looked at were different scenarios for buffer times, for the resource times for the arrival and departure processes, but also using towing of aircraft to and from remote stands as a way of optimizing the stand utilization. So without a detailed model and an analysis of the options, MSP would have had to either say, no, we cannot accommodate this route, or they would have to cross their fingers and hope that the problems will solve themselves. But that would, of course, carry a high risk of delays and congestion when the route would start to operate. So when we approached this task, we basically started out asking the client, so what is the available data that you have? That could be maps of the area, aircraft stand charts, of course, historical information of the existing allocations and the future schedule that we were looking into. So to tackle this challenge, we used our tool Better Standing Gate, which is a part of our software suite Better Airport, which is a planning suite for the entire airport. But Better Standing Gate is a gate management tool with the aim to really optimize the allocation of both passenger gates and the aircraft stands to optimize the stand utilization and reduce congestion in airports. And it can be used for both long-term strategic planning down to the day of operational planning. With all this data input into the system, we were able to run a number of different scenarios. That could be scenarios for different airline preferences, for different buffers in between flight allocations, for different resource allocations for the arrival and departure processes, and also different ways of towing aircraft to and from the stands. And based on all these scenarios, we found a couple of options where it was possible to actually allocate this new route with a limited impact on the existing allocation. I think the most important aspect of this task for MSP, for the client, was really to get a higher confidence and some evidence that it was actually possible to accommodate this new route. So it has ultimately led to, I think, a better relationship with the airline stakeholders. They could go into the meetings and say, look, here are the different options, and we can actually demonstrate that this is possible, whereas this is not possible. And in this way showcase to the airlines that they can also feel confident that this new route would not have an impact on the existing traffic.